All right, as you guys and gals may be aware, I work on a lot of odd cars. And this is no exception, except that it's not an old car. Like my old dog laying here on the floor. This is fresh off the boat, as in the customer drove it from the port of Tacoma in Washington yesterday, fresh off the boat from Japan to my shop to get looked at and inspected. And to prove that fact, you can see it's all stickered up from being on the boat. It just got here after a couple month long ride. I can't even decipher all the stuff that's on the windshield there, but it is very Japanese and it is very fresh. He's super excited about it, and let me get into what it is. Can you guess? I'm going to give you a little hint. It's a Mitsubishi Delica. It's the new body style Delica, not the older ones that I normally service. And this one is tricked out to the max. Whoever owned this prior really stickered it up and really loved it. So let's get into it. This is a gas-powered Delica with bull bars and fog lights and a stereo system that I don't even know how to work because it's so complex. It's four-wheel drive, and again, it's gas. And you wouldn't think that's very unusual, but every Delica I've ever worked on has been a diesel. This is a gas-powered Delica. Let me repeat that. It will exceed your expectations because it's a super exceed. It's right-hand drive. It has a fake wood steering wheel cover over the leather steering wheel, wouldn't you know it, and it's an automatic. So all those other diesel 5-speed Delicas I'm working on now are obsolete. Let's take a quick look around. We've got curtains. We have got so many skylights, I can't even keep track. It's pretty cool. I got to show you a couple things real quick here. So I'm going to turn the key on. It's probably going to make a little noise. It might. And then we're going to look up here to the front, and we're going to press the open curtain button. What do you think is going to happen when I press the open curtain button? Well, let's see. How about close? Okay, so watch this. Let me try that again. Open, close. Open, close. That is great. I think these ones do it too, but I'm not sure how. Rear sunshade. Let's try this one. Oh yeah, check it out. Rear sunshade. Close. Open. How do you get left and right on this thing? And then we got sunroof. Oh, I did them all. So it's rear sunshade. Let's try that again. Oh, that is so cool. You can close and open the sky roof with the touch of a button. That's awesome. I'm gonna love this thing. All right, let's keep going here. What else we got? We got the sunroof here. Okay, we know how that works. You gotta slide that back. I think that just pops open. Yep. I mean, we have got stuff on stuff. We have got, what do we got here? We've got an altimeter, a thermometer, a voltmeter, and an angle of approach, I believe. And we got a compass. We've got a digital dash for heater controls with air conditioning. We've got a stereo stack that is just crazy. This whole thing pops out and becomes a screen. I'm not going to get into that. But there's all kinds of remotes and buttons and things for the stereo. Somebody was really into it. All right, let's check under the hood. That's what really matters. So we're going to pop the hood thing here. And let's look under the hood. Not only do we have a deflector on the back, we've got an air deflector on the front. Let me turn the car off here so we're not wasting the battery or anything. I'm glad it's not beeping. This thing is so crazy. Okay, let's open this hood. All right, I gotta get the stick up. Feels like it's a plastic hood. Up a little more, so we get that rod right in there. Okay. Now, a couple things we're going to notice is it's a gas engine, which I've repeated many times, but it's not the gas engine you'd think. It's a 24-valve V6. This is the same gas engine that is in the Mitsubishi Eclipse and the Chrysler minivans of the mid 80s, early 90s. Do you remember those? They weren't that great. But they're here. It's here in this van. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Look at this air duct system. So let's pan back here. When the hood is closed, there's this high pressure area right above the headlight. Here and here. And that transfers the cool air into the car, fresh air, because it's high pressure. High pressure for your Mitsubishi. So again, we've got the gas engine up front, not under the seat, and it is predominantly rear. All right, so right before my battery went dead, I was saying that this delicious Mitsubishi Delica is predominantly rear wheel drive, and it has a manual transfer case to engage the front wheels. Even though it's an automatic, it has a 4 low, a 4 high, 2 high, and it looks like a lock or something. I wonder if it's got a differential lock. Let's check it out. So I think what we should do is pull this thing in onto the lift, and we'll take a good look underneath. It's a pretty cool and unique vehicle. I think you guys are going to really like it. Before we pull it in the shop and take a look at the underbelly, let's take a look at what's in back. We've got a rear view mirror, in other words a bubble mirror, to see what's down at the bumper when you're in the front. It has a rusted off sideboard or running board. Looks like it broke off and rusted. I hope I don't find a bunch of rust. Place for a fire extinguisher, I think. And then a little tiny luggage compartment here. For some, looks like a jack maybe. I think all the seats are removable, so you can camp in this thing. And again, it's got those glorious skylights. I mentioned it's got spoilers. It's got a spoiler on the front and the back. The roof is called a crystal light roof, and you can see down in there. It's also got dual antennas, which I'm not sure how these function, but they're there. Any clue as to where the gas flap is? How do you put gas in this vehicle? I think I know. It's right there. How do you open it? Let's see. Oh yeah, you gotta pull this. It's pretty tough to pull. There you go. That's where you put your gas. You'd hardly know that's there. It just blends right into the car. Ultra cool. All right, let's pull this baby into the shop. We'll listen to the engine, and we'll look underneath. Doing a pre-purchase inspection on this for the fella. Look at the little details there. The floor mats have Delica. The service records there. Really neat. Again, this is an automatic. Let's take a look here. We've got our tachometer here on the left. We've got our speedometer with odometer, our gear selection indicators, temperature and gas, and then our four-wheel drive condition. And what's a little odd is the shifter is to the left here. It's like as an overdrive on and off. Let's shut the door. I'm going to turn the key. It's showing 99,000 kilometers. And to put it into gear, press on the brake, and we'll pull the gear shift lever down into drive with our left hand. Weird, make sure the e-brake is off. And we'll turn the fan off. Right-hand drive is always a little interesting. So we're going to pull it into the shop here, put it up on the lift, and we'll give you a good look at the underside. These taillights are very reminiscent of Toyota Sienna, but I do know that this is a Mitsubishi. One thing I forgot is to look in here. We got curtains. These may be automatic, I'm not sure, but I'm going to manually push the curtains back. And then we've got storage bins, kind of a desktop thing here behind the back seat, as well as a DVD player. Lots of room back in here. I'm sure these seats are removable. Big, huge dome light. Look at that. How do we turn this on? Air conditioning controls up in this power shade, so you can control the shades individually from those switches. That is too cool. And there's an information thing there. Wow. Pretty deluxe. Pretty amazing, actually. All right, so we've got our subject up on the lift. This is our 1994 Mitsubishi Delica, which is a gas model. And I keep finding cool stuff. One of the things, let's see if I can show you here, is the shock absorbers. If you look right up in here, there's little motors that turn the tension of the shock absorbers to sport, medium, or firm, or something like that. Every one of the shock absorbers has, here's the one in the back on this side. See the little motor up in there? Front ones have it as well. So as I was saying, this is predominantly rear wheel drive. It's got a pretty beefy rear axle, rear disc brakes, coil spring suspension with a panhard bar. This is a gas model, so it's got quite a few mufflers and catalytic converter. There is a nest, probably from Japan. Some type of cuckoo bird's been living up in the spare tire. The customer is very concerned about rust. I do see some rust on the spare wheel and the exhaust system, but most of the body is rust free. We're going to follow the drive line up to our transfer case. I don't know what brand this is. I could probably figure it out. I think it's Asian. Most stuff is Asian. Asian automatic transmission. And we have a cooler here. This is probably for the air conditioning with a fan on it that is lateral to the bottom of the car. We have our catalytic converter, and above that we have our torsion bar suspension, which can be adjusted. All kinds of air conditioning lines here, because I believe this thing has rear air conditioning. And a lot of emission controls that I'm not familiar with. These tanks here must be charcoal. No, that's for air conditioning as well, for the rear air conditioner. Let's go up to the front. It is a torsion bar front suspension with control arms. Let's see what we can see. Disc brakes. Again, we have the shocks that have the little motors on top. No oil leaks to see. It has lots of skid plates because it is four-wheel drive. It looks really good. It's got these fantastic chrome bull bar bumpers with fog lights that are angled off to the side. Not sure what those things are. Dual fans. I don't know what that is. Really neat. Very little damage, very little rust. I think the customer is going to be surprised, pleasantly surprised, that the worst thing is just the spare tire is a little rusted. That will conclude our Off-Road Express Delica Space Gear. Really a pretty neat rig. Very stickered out. Somebody has loved this thing in Japan, and I'm sure somebody will love it here in the United States as well. United States as well. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for checking out my channel, and good luck if you try to import one of these. I hope you get one as good as this.